If you're over 40 and you're wondering which supplements are actually worth it, you're in the right place. We've been told to take a multivitamin, maybe some collagen or creatine, and then just, hope for the best. Or worse, we order some random hormone support blend we've seen all over social media. But the truth is, many women are taking supplements that either don't work well because they're either low in quality or they just simply don't need it. And that's a huge waste of time, money, and energy. How do I know this? I'm Christy, and not only am I going through this wild ride of perimenopause myself, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, and I help women navigate perimenopause with real food and root cause strategies. And in this video, I'm sharing 4 supplements I'd recommend for most women over 40, what they do, when to take them, and how to get the most benefit without overwhelming your body or your budget. Let's dive in. First, a really quick reminder that supplements don't fix your problems. They support healing once the foundations are already in place. So before you spend another dollar, ask yourself, am I eating enough real food and in the right balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fat? Am I sleeping at least 7 hours a night? Am I getting outside regularly? Am I regulating my blood sugar and managing my stress? And yes, these supplements can give you an extra layer of that support, but with those key pieces missing, even the best supplements on the market may not do so much. And also, let's be honest, most of us have supplement fatigue, and we want things that are worth it. And before we get into the ones that truly are, I just want to mention I am not a doctor, nor am I your practitioner, so always be sure to check with your provider to be sure there are no contraindications with any conditions you have or medications that you're already on. All right. Let's get into it. Number 1 is magnesium. Most women are deficient in magnesium. It's a key mineral that's diminished from stress. So in perimenopause, hello, our stress buckets are full and we tend to be less stress resilient. So it's important to replenish those minerals. Yes, there are great foods that are high in magnesium like spinach and other dark leafy greens, avocados, nuts, beans, seeds. But due to stress, caffeine, alcohol, and nutrient depleted soils, it's really hard to get our full magnesium needs from food alone. Magnesium supports all sorts of things like sleep. I take mine right before bed, stress resilience, which is a huge factor in perimenopause, blood sugar regulation, muscle recovery, and so many more. The 2 forms that I like the most because they are most bioavailable, meaning your body is able to put them to use the easiest, is first magnesium glycinate. This is a calming, gentle form, really awesome right before bed. And the other one is a magnesium L-threonate. This supports brain function and mood. It's also been shown to cross the blood-brain barrier the best. Also, you can take this one before bed. And you don't need to worry too much about brands. Turn the bottle around and make sure that the names of the types of magnesium that are listed in it are the types that I mentioned here. I prefer it in a powder or a capsule form. Gummies, yes, a lot of people ask about gummies. Sure, they're tasty, but they are full of some not great stuff, including sugar, which I don't really want that before bed. And I don't know about you, I'd prefer my sugar in the form of other things like cookies and ice cream. How much to take? That really depends on the person, but starting between 200 to 400 milligrams daily can be a good place to start. When in doubt, start low and slowly work your way up over a few days or a few weeks. I often take it at night or split it between the morning and the evening if needed. It's not going to make you fall asleep, but it is just, I find, more supportive at night when I need help with my sleep. The next one is protein powder and essential amino acids. I'll get into both of them in this section. Protein is critical for muscle and metabolism, blood sugar, hormones, all the things. And it's not uncommon for women our age to be falling short, given that it's not the most convenient always to add in, and our needs increase so much in this life stage to sustain and build muscle. For most women, I recommend aiming for at least 100 grams of protein a day from real food, but realistically, many women fall short of this, especially at breakfast and after workouts, and I'm not against adding in some convenient options like powders. So this is where protein powder can help. I use it in a smoothie every morning. It just makes my morning so much easier. I don't have to think about what to have for breakfast. So during the week when I am really short on time, I make a smoothie that is packed with fiber-filled fruits and seeds, good healthy fats. I also love mixing it into yogurt, oatmeal, or even baked goods or meals where you're falling a little bit short. It can be that great little tool to use to boost it up. It's also great for workout recovery. If you're leaving from a gym or you're short on time there, having a quick drink with with protein powder can be really helpful. And generally, when you're short on time, it's great. I don't love replacing multiple meals with it. I say it can replace real food in one meal, not multiple times throughout the day, but it can be really great to have on hand. I'll put my favorite brands of whey and non-dairy options in the description. Another great tool I've incorporated within the last year on that protein powder category is essential amino acids, which is a blend that I use pre-workout or during my workout. So what essential amino acids are is they provide all 9 essential amino acids, the amino acids that we do not produce ourselves, which are required for muscle protein synthesis. And why this is important is because not all amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein and muscle, mean the same when it comes to muscle support. You need all 9 of those amino acids, otherwise known as a complete protein, in order to build muscle. In the fitness realm, you may have heard of branched chain amino acids when it comes to working out, but I don't prefer those because they're just 3 amino acids. Essential amino acids give you that full profile your body needs to repair and to build muscle. And yes, you can get those from different sources, and you do in your daily diet. But when we are already struggling to be able to maintain and build muscle, I want to make it as easy as possible, which is why I love essential amino acids. I also work out early in the morning, and I often use them with something like a date or two immediately right before my workout, followed by a real food breakfast within 60 minutes after. Hey, if this has been helpful, I would love for you to hit like, subscribe, or share it with a friend. It helps more women find this type of content during this crazy life stage. Thank you. The next one is creatine monohydrate. I am so glad that creatine is finally getting the attention that it deserves. It is definitely an underused, research-backed supplement that is awesome for women over 40, especially for anyone doing strength training, which should be all of us. So creatine helps with energy production during your workouts, so you can stress your muscles harder, you can lift more, which means more growth, plus it can help with recovery after, which is when your muscle growth and rebuilding happens. More muscle means it's better for your metabolism and easier to keep your body fat lower. It's great for brain and cognitive function. It's also really great for bone density. Of course, it helps from that muscle standpoint. More muscle is very beneficial for your bones, but it also can directly impact your bone health because we need creatine in order to be able to regenerate bone. So it can directly impact it there too. It's safe and it's effective, and it's very well studied for women. We can produce our own amount of creatine, but supplementation can be specifically helpful for women because we produce less creatine than men, and we often consume less of it, even on an omnivorous diet. It's hard to get the nearly 5 grams of it that we need per day. For example, 1 whole pound of beef is only 1 to 2 grams, and hormone fluctuations also impact our body's own production. So it is one that, yes, you can get it a bit from food, but having that extra supplementation can be really beneficial for most women. So how to use it? The general recommendation is about 3 to 5 grams per day with or without food, and even on non-workout days. I like mixing it with my essential amino acids pre-workout, like I talked about earlier. You may have heard that it can cause a bit of water retention, but that happens if you dose it way too high. So some competitive athletes will talk about dose loading, which is at like 20 grams, and that is definitely not necessary for the everyday woman like us. Starting slow, even less than that 3 grams, and slowly working your way up is a really great way to go. I'll link to the brand that I use in the description, but really any creatine monohydrate can work. Just be sure that there's not a lot of extra junk in it. It doesn't need extra fillers if you're just getting it in the powder form. And third-party testing by an independent lab is always a good idea with any supplement. And no, it doesn't bulk you up either. It helps build and maintain muscle, which is crucial as our estrogen declines, which is why it makes it so great for our life stage. And the next one is electrolytes. If you're feeling sluggish, lightheaded, you get afternoon headaches, you wake up tired, you might not need another cup of coffee. You might actually need electrolytes to make your water more effective in actually hydrating you. In perimenopause, hormone shifts can impact hydration, our salt retention, and adrenal health. And I find that most women I work with benefit from electrolytes at least once a day. And even more if you're working out or you're sweating more or it's a hot season or you're just generally more stressed because your minerals are depleted more quickly. So look for a clean electrolyte blend with a balance of sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Magnesium is usually a little bit lower, and that's okay. And no added sugars or artificial ingredients or colors are typically what I try to shoot for. I use it first thing in the morning. I'm drinking electrolytes. I use it before and after I work out. I use it as I'm drinking throughout the day. Or if I'm feeling a slump, I'll look back and think, oh yeah, I actually probably haven't drank enough water or had electrolytes. And so I will add more in then. My favorite brand is Redmond Relight since it's high in quality sea salt and has a higher proportion of potassium than other brands like Elemental Labs. But every person is different, so you may need to do a little bit of trial and error there. So what about the others? I'm sure there are many other supplements that I did not list here that you are wondering if they are great for this life stage. And there are a lot of other supplements out there, some great, some overhyped and most that are not needed by everyone. So these are a few other popular types of supplements that could be needed more on an individualized basis based on blood work, hormone testing, or your symptoms. The first one is vitamin D. I think we went a little vitamin D crazy during the pandemic, and I always recommend testing before you supplement with vitamin D just to see where your levels are at. General recommendation is that you don't want to be much higher than 50 or 60, and of course that's a little nuanced, and that's a very general recommendation. There are some that need higher, but overall it's best to be sure that you are testing before you are supplementing with it and then changing the dosage as needed. The next one is myo-inositol, which is great for sleep, blood sugar regulation, and cycle regulation, but it's also not really great for everyone and not everyone can tolerate it well. Personally, it upsets my stomach a bit, but I've had other clients who fit a lot of those criteria and they love it and they can't sleep without it. Next one is DIM, which is a detox support, and that one is really helpful depending on if you're having some detoxification issues or if you have some estrogen dominance that's going on. But if you're low in estrogen, it might not be a great fit for you because it may make your levels even lower. The next one is just general adaptogens. I feel like adaptogens are in everything these days and it's fine in really low doses, but when it comes to actual supplementation of it, which is higher doses of it, they aren't for everyone. The next is omega-3s. These can be really helpful if there's a lot of inflammation that's going on or if you know that you're unable to get enough from food. But again, that really depends on the person. Some people do not need that extra supplementation when the diet is already sufficient and they're not dealing with inflammation. The next is probiotics. Probiotics can be pretty complicated. There are strain-specific types of probiotics that are good for different things, and they're just generally not always necessary for everyone. I like trying to get my probiotics in with natural probiotic-rich foods like sauerkraut, kefir, or kimchi, so doing that extra supplementation isn't always necessary. And the next is B-complex. That one you probably heard a lot, which is basically a multivitamin full of multiple types of B vitamins. These can be useful for energy and stress. We tend to burn through more B vitamins during this life stage, but not everyone, and they can be overstimulating, and the type of B vitamin can be very important depending on the individual. Again, blood work can be really helpful here. Tell me in the comments, are you using any of these that I listed? Are you curious about any others? Let me know. The bottom line is you don't need everything. In fact, sometimes taking too many supplements can be a stressor in and of itself. Supplements should be that cherry on top on an already solid foundation of hormone health. Here's a first video of a series where I walk through the foundations of hormone health with lots of tips on what to do for each. You've got this, and I'm here with you every step of the way. See you in the next one.